Homeless blind man healed millionaire's daughter with mud.
Next day, the sea called him a fraud. What happened in court shook Africa. Rain lashed down on Lagos like the gods were pissed off. The whole city drowned in muddy water, neon lights twisting into blurry SMARS behind the rain like a dying man's TRS. Streets turned to rivers, CA Rhine garbage, plastic bottles, and busted flip-flops in the brown swirl. People huddled under eaves, cursing the damn rainy season. No one noticed the old man curled under the rusted roof of an abandoned gas station, almost blending into the mud. They called him Mudhand Abu, a blind beggar with sunken eyes like dry wells. His clothes were rags stitched with more rags, his plastic sandals split in three. He survived by scavenging and fortune-telling, mumbling vague prophecies for a bite of food.
Nobody took him seriously. Until tonight, when a miracle soaked in rain would change everything. Screech bang. A silver Mercedes SUV skidded on the turn, slammed into a pole like a spooked bull. Metal crumpled, glass exploded. Smoke hissed up through the rain. A crowd gathered but kept their distance. Rich people's trouble meant trouble for the poor. Inside, a young woman, blood streaking her silk head wrap, lay unconscious. "That's Amina Okoye." Someone gasped. "The billionaire's daughter." Then Abu shuffled four-way RD, tapping his stick. "Let me through," he rasped. People laughed. "Blind fool." But he knelt beside Amina, fingers tracing her forehead. "Warm blood. Faint breath." He grinned. "Ancestors ain't done with her." Sping red mud, rich with iron and mystery, he chanted in Yoruba ****, Abodo muoju riwa. "Spirits, open her eyes, Ojumio, Abodo luoju riwa." Mine are gone, but hers will see, ***, red mud on her wound, gentle, like a mother's touch. The crowd jeered. Until Amina's eyelids fluttered. "Light." She whispered. "I see, light." Silence. Then chaos. Ambulances came. Doctors gaped. Her optic nerve damage is healing. How? News exploded. Blind beggar saves billionaire heiress with magic mud. At the hospital, Amina clutched her father's hand. That old man, his mud felt like sunshine. But Siiko Koye, Shah RP suit, Shah per GLA re, just cold called his PR team. Spin it. Modern medicine saved her. Then, quieter, arrest that fraud Abu. Can't let dirt ruin my daughter's future. Back in the slums, kids SWA met Abu, "You a witch doctor?" He shook his head, cradling his clay pot, just returning what the EARTH gave. As dawn broke, Abu sat by his pot, blind eyes Tawa RD the sun. He didn't know the storm coming. But he knew this: when the powerful lie, the mud remembers the truth. The next morning, Lagos woke up to sunlight so hot it felt like a warning. The city buzzed about Mudhand Abu. Street. Vendors sold tiny bottles of magic mud for 5 naira. Dug up NEA or the gas station, they claimed. Kids SMEA red dirt on their faces, shouting, "I'm Abu. I can heal." But the frenzy didn't last. By 10 a.m., the cold wind of power blew it all away. The Okoye Group HQ, under blinding studio lights, Ike Okoye stood stiff in his Italian suit. Behind him, a banner screamed, "African Medical Science Fund." Cameras rolled as he gripped the podium. "Ladies and gentlemen," his voice slick as oil, "last night's miracle is a lie. The room froze. My daughter survived thanks to modern medicine, neurosurgeons, MRI scans, German drugs. Not some hobo's mud." He waved a lab report. "University tests prove it's just common red clay. No magic. Only ignorance." Flashbulbs popped like gunfire. "That's why I'm investing 10 billion naira, he thundered, "to crush superstition. Africa's future is science, not witch doctors." The headlines exploded. #Okoye exposes fraud. #Science wins. Rich Nigerians cheered. The slums ROA read back, "Ungrateful snake. His daughter lives, now he spits on our healer?" In Makoko floating slum, crowds SWA met the docks where Abu usually sat. Signs read, "ABU heals." Kids sang Yoruba rhymes, "Ojuken, Ojuken, one eye, one eye." Reporter shoved mics in Abu's face. "Okoye called you a fraud. You hate him?" Abu touched his clay pot, calm as still water. Blind men don't see faces. But we here Fia are. Fia are? Fia are that the poor know secrets. Fia are, of the ancestors. Then, police sirens.
2 officers shoved through the crowd. Abu, you're charged with illegal practice and public disturbance.
The mob erupted. Don't take him. He saved Amina. Abu stood, silencing them with a raised hand. I'll go. Mudfia RS no court, it answers to the EARTH.
As the police van drove off, prayers rose from the tin roofs.
Okoye's office. Watching the arrest on CCTV, Ike smirked. Abege are playing Messiah. Let's bury him. Then his phone rang. Amina.
Father, the press conference.
Is it true? Of course. They're con artists, Amina. But I felt the mud, rm, like living things, delusions. He hung up, jaw tight. Amina cried alone, googling Mudhand Abu, Sacred Springs, Yoruba healing, not knowing her father's SPYWA retract every click. Police interrogation room. Fluorescent lights burned. Abu sat motionless. You admit using mud on Amina Okoye, the cop demanded. I helped. Healing is the EARTH's work. Where'd you learn this work? From my father. Burned alive by colonists for witchcraft.
The cop flinched. Then his boss called, release him.
But
rn him, next time, jail.
Rain again. Abu stood outside the station, face tilted. SKYWA road. Rain is the EARTH weeping, for those who forget their roots. A newspaper slapped his feet. Front page, Okoye mines north, creates jobs. Abu's fingers traced the photo, a mine in the Niger River uplands.
His childhood's sacred spring.
He gasped. They drained the spring?
His hand dipped into his clay pot.
The mud smelled faint now. No wonder, it's lost its glow. Okoye's study, midnight. He fed documents to a shredder, including a report, Nigerium element, potential medical breakthrough. His aide whispered, Sir, this mud could make billions, as a joke? Ike SNA led. Seal the spring. Keep mining. And that blind fool? Make him vanish.
Alone, he STA read at Lagos' glittering skyline.
Amina, everything I do is to keep you in the light. Even if the light is stolen. Slum shadows. Amina, hood pulled low, crept to Abu's shack. Abu, is the mud really from the north?
The old man took her hand, soft, like shaping clay. Child, your soul sees clearer than your eyes. The spring weeps, because it's been robbed.
By who?
Abu's voice turned to dust, men in suits, who forgot how dirt tastes.
Rain kept falling. Lagos split in two, one half choking on lies, the other starving for truth, and deep underground, the mud waited. Patient. Alive. Hungry. Lagos after rain smelled like a soaked blanket, thick and suffocating.
Abu returned to his tin shack, its walls whistling with every breeze.
Outside, protests grew louder. Slum dwellers took shift. Squaw riding his door, certain Okoye's men would come. Kids banged on scrap metal, singing, Mudhand Abu, EARTH's own son. Rich man lies, but mud tells truth.
Inside, Abu ran his fingers over his cracked clay pot.
The mud inside had dulled, its EARTHY scent fading. He sat still, listening to the ground's ear beat. He knew the source, his father's TRS of Amadou, was under siege. Meanwhile, Amina Okoye made her choice. No more lies. She'd find the sacred spring herself. She swapped silk for cotton, slipped out unseen, and flagged down a rusty Okada bike. Take me north. Niger River uplands. 2A Reg lands. The driver choked. Madam. That's bandit country. And your father, she shoved a wad of naira at him. This pays your funeral or mine. Drive. 3 days later, the Sahel swallowed them. No more city lights, just sand, bone-dry trees, and huts clinging to dust. Amina trekked alone into the desert, following Abu's hazy clues Tawa RD, a place called Tagaza. The sun blistered her skin. Sand ate her shoes. When she collapsed, blue shadows emerged from the dunes, 2A reg nomads, faces veiled in indigo. They gave her sour camel milk. Their elder spoke, "You seek the tea spring." Amina gasped. "How did you men in suits came first? Sucked the spring dry with machines. Dug for treasure." He spat. "You're the first woman to look for it." Around the fire, they told her the legend long ago. The creator Amadou wept 3 TRS for sick mankind. First became the spring. Second became red mud. Third made priests who erd the EARTH's voice. The mud heals, but only for pure HERTS. To others. Just dirt, now? The elder pointed to a cracked riverbed. The spring's corpse. Your people pump its water to wash diamonds. Amina dug into the EARTH with BA hands. 2 meters down, a whisper of dampness. She scraped a vial of muddy water, SCPED red clay into a pouch. This was the source. Her voice broke. "But it's dying." She didn't see the camera watching from Iraq. "Okoye Group Lab, Lagos." A aide rushed in, "Sir." Amina took samples. Ike Okoye didn't look up from his Nigerian patent application. "Switch them. Use mine waste at iron flakes. Fake the report, toxic. No medicinal value. But if anyone checks, who'll believe a blind beg AR and my hysterical daughter?" Ike smirked. "In Africa, science is what I say it is." Courtroom, 1 week later. New charges, public endangerment using toxic substances. Okoye's expert waved a report. "This holy mud contains lead, arsenic, causes nerve damage. Any healing was placebo." The judge frowned. The slum crowd seethed, then Abu spoke, "This report lies. True sacred mud glows." He dumped his last clay into water. A flickered golden light, faint as a firefly. The expert recoiled. "Trick lighting. Chemical reaction." Abu smiled. "Then SMEA are it on your skin." Silence, the judge ruled, no proof of HRM case dismissed. But Abu, no more healing. People cheered. Abu knew the soir wasn't over. Night. Tin shack. Abu held his empty pot. The glow had died. "Father, when lies become law, can dirt still testify?" Desert lab, same night. Amina peered through a microscope. Blue crystals shimmered. Nigerium, a neuroregenerative miracle. Her TRS hit the report. "Father, you didn't steal water. You stole hope." Dawn in Makoko slum, sunlight like gauze over rusted tin roofs. No electricity. No clean water. Kids raced BA food on wooden planks, women beat laundry in the Brown River. But today, the air hummed with rebellion. News had spread, Abu was free, Abu won. Even the law says he's no fraud. People came BA ring gifts, stale bread, patched blankets, wildflowers, piling them by his shack. Kids sang, "Mudhand Abu, blind but wise rich man lies, but mud don't lie." Yet Abu's face stayed grim. He knew, Okoye wasn't done. That courtroom blow was just a skirmish. The real trial wasn't in any judge's books, it was in the gut of the people. Then, black SUVs rolled in. Okoye's security chief stepped out, flanked by men with batons. "By order, this slum is illegal. You have 3 days to leave." Chaos erupted, "We got nowhere to go. Try evicting our ghosts too." Police in riot Haya are moved in. Then Abu emerged. Leaning on his stick, he climbed onto a broken fridge. His voice cut through the noise. "Brothers, sisters, they're not just tea-ring-down shacks. They're erasing our memory. But houses can be rebuilt, roots can't." He turned to the security chief. "You can. Take our bricks. Not our belief in this EARTH. Today, we hold a trial, not by judges. By the people.
Word spread like wildfire. By noon, hundreds came: fishermen, street hawkers, bus drivers, even low-level clerks. They lined up with evidence, medicine jars, photos, stories.
First witness, Grandma Adenuk, clutching an urn of ashes. My husband died pain-free because of Abu's mud. That's dignity. Next, young mother Ifioma with her malaria surviving son. Doctors called it a miracle. I call it mercy.
Then, our vet ca Lowe's, unwrapping a leg brace.
Our May doc said I'd never walk. This mud got me standing.
One after another, plain truths hit harder than any lawyer's speech.
The crowd wept, clapped, chanted, "Abu is clean."
Then, black suit struck. The security chief snatched Adenuk's urn, smashed it. Ashes mixed with mud, scattering in the wind. Thieves.
Adenuk lunged, got shoved down. Abu didn't move.
He knelt, gathering ashes and dirt in his palms. Break the jar, not the memory. This soil holds his pain, and his joy.
The EARTH remembers.
The mob surged.
Police batons flew. Planks splintered, bodies splashed into sewage. In the chaos, Abu raised a handful of mud, chanting in Yoruba, "Ialare ipin, amasai ny." Spirits of fate, we seek you, ko ce sindakanra. No faith is forgotten. He flung the mud skyway road.
Wind caught it, for 1 year beat, the dust glowed gold, a shimmering rain. Everyone froze. Even cops lowered their shields. Look, someone screamed.
The EARTH answers him. This wasn't a trial anymore. It was awakening. Not for Abu. For themselves. Nightfall. Abu sat in the wreckage, stroking his empty pot. Okoye would escalate.
But now when millions rd one truth, mud becomes a rumor.
Okoye's penthouse.
Watching news footage of the golden rain, he shattered a whiskey glass.
Fools! Can mud build hospitals? Can dirt modernize Africa? He grabbed his phone. Execute plan beats silence that blind rat. Permanently. Slum shadows.
A scrawny teen named Chitty developed film and a makeshift Croon.2 photos emerged, Okoye's men swapping lab samples.
A contract titled Nigerian Mining Rights. Chitty clenched the prince. Abu, this time, I protect the truth. Dawn in Makoko slum, sky-choked with dirty cotton clouds. No one slept last night.
The bridge still splintered, roofs gaping like open wounds. People whispered, eyes locked on the road. They knew Okoye's clean city bulldozers would return. Abu sat before his leaning shack, fingers tracing cracks in his broken clay pot. The last bit of ash-mixed mud inside had gone dull. It's tired, he told Chitty, the 12-year-old orphan who shadowed him.
Like this land, sucked dry.
Chitty pulled out smuggled photos, Okoye's men swapping samples, mining contracts. Abu touched the edges. Truth hides deeper than light.
Then, the sky SNA led.
Rain came rd, turning alleys to rivers. But Abu walked straight into the storm, Chitty guiding him to the sewage-brown creek, and their mud glowed.
Gold flecks sparkled where rainwater hit the bank, a river of stars.
Abu's magic, people screamed.
The EARTH is alive. Turns out, Nigerium, that secret mineral in the mud, sleeps when dry, but lightning rain wakes it up. Videos blew up, #glowing mud, #slum miracle. Scientists called it bioluminescent wonder. Okoye's lab. Panic. Sir, it's global. Our toxic report looks fake.
Okoye smashed his coffee, call it phosphorus bacteria.
I define African science.
He phoned demolition crews, bulldoze that glow at dawn.
Meanwhile, Amina's proof was ready.
Hiding in a school lab, her microscope confirmed, Nigerium heals nerves. Especially eyes, she texted a journalist, meet me.
My father's stealing medicine from the poor.
Rain had stopped when the black SUV struck. .2 thugs grabbed
her, hand over the files. Until Chitty leapt from the shadows, swinging a pipe. Abu. Run.
Amina fell, cracked her skull on concrete.
UMPH.U disc vanished in grass. Hospital. Crisis. Doctors grim, brain bleed. Vision fading fast.
Okoye stood frozen by her bed. Why chase dirt? Amina's whisper gutted him. Father, the mud works. Why destroy it?
For the first time, the wall around his heart cracked. Midnight. Hospital back door. Abu slipped in with Chitty, wrying his last glowing mud. Esmea read it on Amina's eyelids, chanting Bojumio, Abodo Luojuriwa.
My blind eyes, let her see. 3 days later Amina woke. Sunlight pierced her vision. Doctors gasped, her optic nerve, it's repairing. She touched dried mud on her face, weeping, not science this time.
Mud. Memory. Mercy.
And in her dreams, her mother's voice, child.
Western medicine can't cure all. Neither can tradition. But love? That's the only real drug. Rain. Falls again on Lagos. Heavy.
Relentless, but under the silent mud something green pushes up. Morning light cut through hospital blinds, painting the floor with tiger stripes.
Amina Okoye blinked awake.
Still blurry, but clear rare, she could make out palm trees now, nurses' blue uniforms.
The doctor flipped her scan results, baffled, no medical explanation, your optic nerve is healing itself.
Amina touched the dried red mud on her eyelids.
Abu Zarth did this. News exploded. Amina healed #mudhand miracle trended across Africa.
Crowds gathered outside the candles, paper boats with prayers floating in sewage canals, but upstairs, in the penthouse suite, Okoye seethed.
Mob mentality, he hissed, watching the crowd below. They'd trade science for dirt.
The door creaked open. Amina wheeled in, pale but fierce.
Father. Ike forced a smile. Thank God you're recovering. Modern medicine did nothing this time.
She pulled out her scans.
Abu's mud contains nigerium. You knew. You're mining it. Patenting it. Ike's face hardened. So what? Africa needs capital, not witch doctors. It heals people. Amina shot up, wincing.
You're stealing medicine from the poor.
Progress requires profit. Ike ROA read.
Then voice cracking, your mother died trusting herbs over hospitals.
I won't lose you too. Amina froze.
First time he'd mentioned mom's death.
Her choice, she whispered. But you can't burn tradition just because it failed once. Ike grabbed his phone.
Security erase that beg Abu tonight.
No.
Amina lurched four-way RD crack, her head split open again.
Blood dripped as Abu's mud fell from her pocket. Ike scped it up.
And it glowed in his palm.
Faint. Flickering. Alive.
The man who built empires on data and steel trembled at a clump of dirt.
What is this? Amina gasped through pain, hope. Can't be bought or buried.
Ike stood frozen, the mud pulsing like a heartbeat.
Against his skin. I need time. He left, shoulders slumped. Slum night. Abu sat with Chitty, listening to the hospital drama. Okoye saw the glow, Chitty whispered, Abu nodded.
Light can't pry shut eyes open, but pain can.
He tilted his blind face. Tower RD the STARS's orchestra comes before dawn, boy. But as long as EARTH breathes, mud never stays silent. Okoye's mansion. Alone at his desk, Ike read at the mud in one hand, his Nigerian patent in the other. He opened his safe. For a long moment, he held a lighter over the papers, then click, he shut them inside. Tomorrow. I go north. Why this hits HARD1?
Visceral imagery * tiger stripe sunlight pulsing like a heartbeat, mud shoulders slumped defeat 2.
Cultural anchors untranslated Yoruba concepts, Nigerium as both mineral and metaphor, paper boat rituals, real Nigerian mourning tradition, 3. Punchy dialogue, mob mentality versus hope can't be bought, progress requires profit. Capitalism versus humanism, 4.
Silent moments of the glowing mud in Ike's hand replaces 1,000 word safe closing instead of dramatic paper burning, 5.
Hopeful ambiguity. Does Ike go north to destroy more, or repent? That final mud never stays silent. Is it a threat or promise? This version bleeds authenticity while moving like a thriller.
Need more lyrical or more brutal? You're called Dawn in Makoko slum, mist clinging to tin roofs like gauze.
Dew dripped into Abu's cracked clay pot.
Plink the blind old man sat facing east, as if greeting the unborn son. Beside him, Shitty clutched an oil paper package, his life's ransom for truth.
They came again last night, the boy whispered. Okoye's man. Tried to burn my camera, hid it in a fish basket. He unwrapped an old film camera, its body scorched. Film's safe. But I can't develop it. Abu smiled. Blind men see truth too, boy. What you caught is EARTH's memory. Then engine growl. A black SUV rolled in. No body guards.
Just Ike Okoye himself, dressed in plain cotton, stepping into the mud. The slum bristled at him.
Drive him out. Abu raised a hand. Let him come. Okoye stopped an arm's length away. I want to talk. About the spring. The mud. My daughter. His voice cracked. Last night. I saw light. Abu nodded. Light's always there. You just refuse to look. Okoye pulled out dried mud. Does it really heal? Yes. But not greedy hearts. A bitter laugh. I worship science, capital, efficiency. Thought money could fix Africa. Forgot. Africa's roots a rent in skyscrapers. They're in dirt. He inhaled Shah RPLY. I'll go north. If the spring lives. I'll give it back. Gasps, Leah R. Trap. Abu just smiled. Land tests sincerity. Go, big man. But remember, dead springs don't sell. As Okoye's CAR vanished into mist, Shitty made his choice. Truth couldn't wait. He'd take the film to Journalists United Nairobi, the continents. Last fier las press Abu. I'm leaving. The old man pressed a Yoruba talisman into his palm. My father's. EARTH will gua RDU. Night 1, Benin border. Flashlights swept mango groves. Okoye's hunters. Shitty curled under roots as they torched the trees. Escaped through fire. Day 2, Togo-bound coconut truck. The driver, a grandma, Warren Ed, ghost roads ahead. Bandits eat boys like you. Evening. Truck stalled. 3 gunmen. Shitty hid behind coconuts, hyenas howled. Bandits fled. Day 3, Ghana frontier. Last Naira bought a bus ticket. Spotter cop trailed him. At a midnight stop, Shitty dug a hole behind a church, buried the film, ran to Journalists United's outpost. Reporter Asha gasped at photocopies. Okoye's men swapping samples. Nigerian patent on mine documents. Adenooks earned shattering. Ike holding a lighter over the papers. This'll detonate Africa. She gave him a train ticket. Nairobi. 6 a.m. Station toilet. 4 a.m. Black. Suits shook him awake. One held his burial map. Give us the film, rat. Shitty bolted. On the moving train, he shoved the film canister at an old mama, screamed in Swahili, Sadi ya kweli. Voice of truth. Jumped. 3 days tracking rails on bloody feet. Fever. Thirst. Kenya border. Asha waved the press badge. Film? Shitty grinned, pulled the sweat-soaked package from his shirt. Alive. Asha unspooled the film. Sunlight exposed every damning frame. That night, Journalists United blasted the alert. Okoye Group stole Africa's soul. Full evidence in 48 hours. Hashtag one roll of truth. Hashtag EARTH speaks trended continent-wide. Lagos. Okoye HQ. Ike STA read at his phone. The film's stills blazed on every screen. His aide trembled. Sir, it's over.
The mud clump fell from his fingers. For the first time, the empire he built felt like sand.
Slum sunrise. Abu cradled the talisman WARM as a heartbeat. That film wasn't just images. It was the scream of millions. The EARTH's testimony. Chitty, he whispered. You made the mud speak. Nairobi's announcement detonated across Africa like thunder. Okoye Group's stock nosedived. Investors fled.
Protesters choked Lagos streets with signs, "Give back our spring."
Culture thief.
Behind glass walls, Ike Okoye watched the mob. For the first time, he felt like a fly trapped in his own web.
He dialed Abu's number. Abu, his voice cracked. Take me north. Let me see the spring. Silence. Then, spring belongs to EARTH. But if your heart's clean, EARTH will guide you. 3 days later, Lagos Airport. No private jet. No bodyguard RDS.
Just Ike, Abu, Amina, and Chitty Boa riding a rickety prop plane to the Niger headwaters.
Ike wore plain clothes, a pilgrim, not a TYCN. Father, Amina whispered, are you ready? Ike sta read at the clouds. I built empires, forgot I was EARTH's child too. Dusty airstrip. 2 reg elders waited. Their leader eyed Ike, come to steal more water, or return it. Ike bowed. To atone. Spring's dry, the elder said. But EARTH's pulse still beats underground. Desert ma RCH. Sun stabbed like knives. Ike's leather shoes shredded, feet bleeding. Abu walked sure-footed with his stick, blind but never lost. Father said, Abu murmured, the spring isn't water. It's Amadu's TRS filter through STARS. Chitty, where is it now? Abu tapped the ground. Buried under greed. Day 4, Congo rainforest edge.
A world away from desert, trees tall as gods, air thick enough to drink.
The 2 reg halted, beyond here. Pygmy land. Then, a song like wind chimes. Pygmy hunters emerged, BA refute, draped in vines. Their elder spoke, forest HERD the mud crying. Abu smiled, EARTH's friends arrive, exactly on time. Jungle trek. No path. The pygmy elder tapped trees, listening to echoes to navigate. Chitty gaped as Abu moved faster than sighted. Men, how? Abu touched BARK, blind men walk with EARS, trees breathe. Leaves whisper. Campfire revelation. Pygmy elder's voice low, spring's not dead. Your machines diverted it, poisoned it, hid it in a dead mine. Amina gripped his ARM, can it heal? If a pure HERT wakes it? Ike's head dropped. I'm the poison. Let me try. Abandoned diamond mine. Rusted gates. Dank tunnels. Then a concrete pipe choking a subterranean river. The water oozed brown, the mud lay dull, Ike knelt, touched the filth. This was holy? Abu SCPED lifeless mud, sick. Like a bled-out man. The ritual. Abu's Yoruba chant echoed Ialiri Ipin, Itun Boi. Spirits of fate, return, E.G. Kioro to Walei Bai. Let this world's pain be washed by you. Ike submerged his hands in sewage. I traded miracles for money. Forgive me. Amina pressed her face close, you healed my eyes. Heal this wound now. Chitty laid the film canister on the bank, truth. Belongs to you. Then the mud glowed. Faint blue spa RKS rippled through the sludge like STARS waking underground. It's alive. Chitty screamed. Abu shook his head, no, it finally HERDS. Engines ROA read above ground. Okoye's security team stormed in, batons flashing. Boss. We're here to the forest fight back. Elephants trumpeted. Branches became whips. Pygmies cheered as the EARTH itself spat out the invaders. Rainforest edge at dawn.
I cradled glowing mud in blistered hands, weeping. Real power was never in vaults.
Abu touched his pot. Now you smell like EARTH at last. Amina, hopeful, will the spring recover? If all gua it, Abu said. Not as property, as blood.
Chitty raised the film. This time, the world watches. And deep in untouched jungle the blue glow still pulsed.
Waiting, remembering, rebirthing.
Why this works: oral storytelling beats short, kinetic paragraphs, dusty airstrip.
2A reg elders waited. Repetition.
With purpose, blind but never lost /EARTH's friends arrive, exactly on time. Cultural texture untranslated Yoruba, Yeleri Ipin, plus Swahili terms, pygmy, honored pygmy song as wind chimes, indigenous wisdom as natural music, sensory immersion, air thick enough to drink, humidity, trees tall as gods, scale, stars waking underground, magic realism, character Arceus in miniature, Ike's pilgrim. Not a Tycian transformation. Abu's blind but never lost mastery. Chitty's truth belongs to you. Surrender hopeful ambiguity. Glow rebirthing, not fully healed but a live film as the world watches. Justice pending. This version breathes like a living thing, raw enough for village elders to nod along, vivid enough for Hollywood to option. Need more grit or more grace? Your call.
African Court of Human Rights, Arusha.
Under the glass dome, cameras from Lagos to London zoomed in.
The gallery packed, tribal elders in beads, scientists in lab. Coats, slum kids clutching mud amulets. All waiting to witness history. Plaintiff, Mudhand Abu, representing Niger River tribes. Defendant, Ikokoye, C of Okoye group charged with stealing EARTH's memory. Abu sat ba refute, stroking his cracked pot of glowing mud. Blind, yet seeing everything. Okoye wore 2A reg blue robes, not Armani. No lawyers. Just a handwritten plea. Gavel bang. Chief Justice, does Nigerium belong to corporations, or the ancestors? Prosecution's turn. South African lawyer Thandi stood, fire in her voice. Exhibit A, footage from #1 Roll-Up Truth screen showed Okoye's thugs swapping sacred mud for dirt. Bulldozers crushing Adanuk's healing urn. Ike smirking over patent papers, Africa's future is mine. Gasps. Exhibit B, lab tests. She raised a vial of bioluminescent ooze. Nigerium only activates with traditional rites. Not a mineral, a covenant. Okoye's white scientist scoffed, superstitious. Nonsense. Nature belongs to whoever exploits it best. Abu stood, Your Honor, may I? He dumped his mud in water. Glow bloomed. Coincidence? Abu challenged. Then SMEA are this placebo on your child's blind eyes. The scientist shrank back. Amina took the stand. She locked eyes with her father. You drained faith itself. But this mud healed me. Not magic, ancestral science. Then, the killing blow. A recorded voice SNA led to seal the spring. Make the blind man disappear. Nigerium's worth billions. Mine. Silence. Okoye rose, no defense. His voice cracked. I thought power meant ownership. But true wealth is steway rodship. He pulled dried mud from his pocket, the same that glowed for Amina. I surrender all mining rights. Nigerium will heal Africa, not enrich me. Abu spoke softly, land forgets no truth. Kneel to it, and it may forgive. Verdict. Guilty. Mine seized. Nigerium equals tribal heritage, protected forever. Okoye. Funds restoration. Abu's healing equals legal right. The gallery erupted. Elders wept. Reporters sprinted to satellites yelling justice. Okoye wept as Amina hugged him, welcome home, father. Arusha streets at night. Bonfires. Drums. Abu sat with Chitty, their pot of mud pulsing like a heartbeat. A reporter shoved a mic, you won. What now? Abu smiled, go home. Teach kids to listen when the EARTH speaks.
And across the continent, something green pushed through cracked soil.
Why this punches HARDU1? Courtroom-as theater, does Nigerium belong to corporations, or the ancestors?
Frames the clash Insta-leak exhibits as weapons, footage, mud glow, damning tape each a knife twist.
Cultural code switching untranslated Yoruba terms, Nigerium is both element and moral concept, tribal aesthetics, beads versus lab coats, bonfires versus satellites, iconic moments, Abus, then SMEA are this challenge scientific method versus indigenous.
Proof Okoye's pocket mud, symbol of his incomplete redemption for.
Poetic justice, same court that once stole land now returns knowledge. Amina's ancestral science reframes the debate. 5. Hopeful ambiguity. Is something green, is it a plant? A movement you decide.
This version moves like a thriller yet ca rise the weight of centuries.
Need more legal precision or more mythic resonance? Your call.